the other side.
Who is the most eccentric of our clients? Would you say Janice?
Yeah.
Right. Yes, Janice.
Can you turn the tilt a little more this way?
That's an epic.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
It's sad. Yeah, it's sad.
That's the thing. Okay. No, it's still not going.
Guys making a lady at the table.
What do you want me, Nick?
Showing up on muscles, you know?
Whatever's natural. That's very good. We can even sit here and, you know what would be good? Just record the crew here, because we can use those shots in the documentary. It would look very cool for when we're doing it.
Yeah.
So that would be good if you could do that. Do you have a camera?
Weird, Bren, because it's like the lens I think is clear, but it wants to be blurry and right in front of you, like there's a spirit in front of you.
Do we want
blocking.
the background blurry?
So I can blur it with here, and then you're also gonna have to blur it in software too. So you see how it's blurring it?
Yeah, can you get it more?
That's the most. But that's all. So that's all done in like the video editing also. But the iPhone can do it by
That
itself.
might work.
Able to do
If you
video
stand,
on
let's
either
see.
the L16
Don't mind if I
or on
just do this real quick.
L16 is going to be 1080p.
I was gonna be right here.
But it's going to do more because there's more lenses
not
available.
bad, you know, it's
Possibly.
really not
Okay,
bad.
so it focuses. So it does some of it by itself, but then you can go on video editing and you can blur it out even more. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
genuinely.
I would
So like in the video, when I'm done recording it, I could go and edit it, and I can blur it out even more.
all right.
Capability.
I would.
Which one would you prefer? Right?
I want to
Let me
do
just
it.
get
I
the
want
best.
to. I want to do it right here because I just want to get all this stuff in the background. I just want to
Okay,
get
do
it.
it. Do it comes natural. Just do it comes natural.
Simple.
So it should be cool. The green light does well too. And,
Where's the wrinkles?
Let me know when everybody's in sync.
I'll put the L16 back in the bag.
And I just want to hit this button to go.
I mean, just point and
I don't even know how
off and oh.
Let me know when you're ready too,
Not
Jeff.
yet. I'm getting fresh battery.
Just be natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ask you questions. You know,
Here's me.
Be natural. Feel like a woman.
super natural.
We don't want karaoke? Yeah, I'll go for that. Karaoke night. Karaoke is probably better because it doesn't get personal. It just be fun times.
Record it. Hold on. Give me one moment.
No, it's on anyway. It's recording. Angle should be fine. Am I catching these cycler from the light? Mildly. That'll work. That's good. Okay. That should be good.
Alright, I'm recording too. Nick's over waiting on you.
Yeah, it's just waiting for Nick. That's it. No problem.
Hopefully we won't have to say take 100. So here we are. Here we are in the lair of a demon slayer with the ghost group, Ghost Storm, filming
It's very strange.
for the movie
There's so much
documentary
stuff. I only have room to do. I have to finish
Angel
one thing.
versus
But that's
Demons.
another spiritual book.
What?
Okay, so
Okay, I see.
okay. Whenever you guys are ready, just let me know. Everybody, just let me know when you're
Yep, I'm ready.
Ready?
ready. Mr. Jefferson.
Yep.
All right.
Already recording.
Okay, Brenda, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a question, and just give it after my questions. Just give it for about 5 seconds, and then go.
Okay.
Don't worry, be natural. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, tell me about how you grew up, your childhood, where you grew up.
I grew up in Southington, Connecticut, which back then was just a normal town in the 70s. Yes, I'm 50. I was born in 1972. A lot of psychic experiences as a child. I think the most wonderful one was I had gone to the library, got my astrology books, I got my dead story books. I was 8 years old, and I'm lying in bed reading ghost stories. And at them, I'm like, if there's such thing as ghosts, let my night light come out of the wall. My night light flew across the room, and my mother kept trying to explain it away because she doesn't know. She didn't know how to help me, when I was younger. And I'm grateful that I have been able to help the next generation of me, because it's such a struggle. That's my favorite story, paranormal wise.
Family, go family.
My family. Oh, sorry.
If you don't mind. First, let me just say, if I answer a question you're not comfortable going back, that's okay. You could tell me anytime. But anyway, family.
Okay. My family's definitely dysfunctional, I guess, as everybody else's is. I have a rough relationship with my mother, and that really stinks. But my father's passed, but I don't know what to say about childhood. Was just some high of the highs and low of the lows. It was very, very intense. I do remember people never talked to me like a child, ever. And I didn't do that to my kids either. And I think that's something, to be said. My father constantly treated me like, I was his age. We were just pals all the time. And when it came to big decisions, they'd come and ask me. I'm the youngest in the family. And I didn't, as it kept going on throughout my years, I'm like, what? My favorite example is we were on vacation and, oh shoot. No, that's what I was saying.
It's okay. Do you want me to ask another question?
Yeah.
When you first realized you're psychic, what was going through your mind? When you first realized this is not my imagination, this is the real deal going on. Were you scared? Were you kind of happy? Did you have a spiritual awakening at that point?
I first started seeing visions in 1995. I saw my first baby daddy at that time. That was my first vision in 1995. I saw him hanging from a tree as though he killed himself. Literally 6 years later, he died of a heroin overdose, which is kind of similar to killing yourself. But anyway, so vision freaked me out. And I didn't know what the hell to make of it. I ended up in a psych ward because people always ask me, how do I block things out? How do I handle my gifts? I don't. I was put in the psych ward because there's no one there to help me when I went through all my spiritual awakenings. No one. No one knew what to say to me. I didn't know what was going on. And I kind of trailblazed the way for the kids behind me. The next generation is really, spiritual.
Very, very cool.
What was the question again?
Well, I'm going to ask another question.
Okay.
Because I'm from Generation X too. When I said I was psychic, people thought I was nuts. But now it must be refreshing that
When I was like, okay, I first realized I was psychic after one of my manic episodes. I was still manic. I don't think the drugs were working at the time. It was a tough time. Manic depression is my gift. But I'd go out and out of nowhere, I would do the Teresa Caputo thing. I'd walk up to people and just start talking about their dead husband. Also, I'm not quite right. Not to sound like I said, I'm just nuts. Let me tell you, Teresa Caputo's camera is the only reason why people don't flip on her. In the late 1990s, you went up to people and said that, they freaked on you. They would just, you're the devil, or get away from me. People did not want to hear that. So I became more cautious if people come looking for a reading, versus hunting them down. So I do feel as though the person's going to want it and be ready for it. So hunting them down was it. But that's the first time I experienced it. And what did it feel like? Is this real? And then the time I finally knew it was real, the baby daddy who passed from the heroin overdose, he died in 2001. And as soon as he came through, he's like laughing because it wasn't an overdose on purpose. He just fucked up. He fucked up. And he was just laughing. And I'm like, is that you? Is that you? And he kept saying stuff that I wouldn't remember. I'm just crying. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that one because I forgot this. And I'm like, oh God, it really is. And that's when I knew it. That's when I was like, no, this shit ain't for, you know. So the dead people were there. The psychic predictions, I don't know where that comes from, but I will say this, and I know this is horribly bragging, but what I'm really good at is forecasting. I have given the best forecast. People always come back to me and they're like, you give the best forecast. This came true, that came true, this came true, that came true. So that I'm proud of. I'm not leading people off, a cliff. If you want to come see me. Okay.
Would you say that there's a link between mental illness and metaphysical psychic abilities? Would you say there's a link? Would you say, how would you describe that? Because that's how I feel as well.
There's definitely a link between mental illness and spiritual gifts. I think the people who are in the hospital or they don't know how to handle it. They're going through spiritual awakenings. They say schizophrenics are hearing voices or TV's following them. TV follows me all the time. It's something. The problem with the people in the hospital is they're in deep fear and panic, and they don't know how to accept their gift. And a lot of them do the drugging and drinking to numb all that because they don't understand and it scares them and things like. What's the question?
So it's not a mental illness; it's more of a metaphysical thing.
Right, and I do want to say that I was invited. It's a long story to do what was it? It was a trial thing where psychics went in, they tested their brain, and they had the psychics go in to the psych patients and talk to them because, how did I go from psychotic in the hospital to this? People want to know that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I feel so good being able to help somebody go through something I couldn't, I'll handle by myself. So I do feel good to watch that. I do think everybody who is, it is calling. And you'll see drug addicts, say, what's wrong with that person? They're just so psychic, you don't know what to do with it. That's a lot of Pisces. A lot of Pisces are one of the most sensitive signs in the book. And if you go to NA or AA meeting and you see who's got a heavy Pisces, every one of them, heavy Pisces placement.
Your experience with Biff, when did you first have an experience with Biff and noticed his abilities? How was that like? Because anybody could say they have abilities, but somebody shows you right in front of your face. Personally, obviously we've all seen it. But what was going through your mind when you first met Biff? He told you,
great.
and he told you, I have abilities. How did you take that?
When I first met Steve, he's loud, he's rough around the edges, and these fairies, it's a lot of love, light, fairies, and females. And he just didn't kind of fit in. I was like, what is this guy's deal? And I just couldn't, I thought he was a weirdo. I'm like, what? So he just comes walking up to me and he's like, I don't know, do you know what I do? And we start talking a little bit, not trying to see what he does. And I was trying to see what he does. And he goes, oh, can I give you a healing? Can I clear you? And this is before the psychic fair, around the psychic fair in 2017. And he said, can I clear you? Comes over, of course you can clear me. Comes over, cleanses me all the way out, right? Goes away, does his thing. The psychic fair starts. My first customer sits down. All my spirit guides are gone. He cleaned my spirit guides out. My goddess that gives me information, gone. He cleared her out. I had to give the lady her money back. Same with the next customer. Thank God I had persistence. By the third customer, I finally got my shit together. But I literally had to give 2 customers their money back because I had nothing. He wiped out every spiritual connection, every dead person, everything. Like, holy shit, this guy's the real deal. And I don't necessarily want him to clear me before a fair. After a fair, clear me then, but oh my God. So I used to tell him that, and I ended up liking his personality, which is crazy. He's a lot like my father. Like I said, he was rough around the edges at first, and and people will say, Stevie's crazy, but he's fun crazy.
I would agree. Well, hello. You know that video, right? That's the kid thing. We're going to plant some food, a garden. Yay. Right? Anyway, what does a demon look like? How do you see when a demon comes by? If you could give it physical features, how could you describe one? Because I see it from my third eye. There's a different sight than the physical eyes, but how would you describe what they?
There's different sizes.
If they could manifest themselves into the flesh, how would they look like?
I'm just going to tell you what they look like to
Sure,
me. Because they can manifest into anybody that lives in or has a weak, brain injury or whatever. I'm losing it tonight.
What do demons look like? Have you seen
So
demons?
they're all different sizes. We do have a guy that we did. What was his name? Merlin. And he had curses put on him. And there were demons like yay big sent from a bigger demon. They're like minions. And they were just going all around his heart chakra and blocking everything out. And they were in his head. So the smallest demon I've seen were the ones on Merlin. The average size are about this big. And they're kind of like Casper. They've got a tail and they're black and they're not. I don't get a lot of facial expressions or like I do with reptilians, like in my face or anything. And I don't necessarily fear. They don't show me they don't try to scare me. They try to talk to me. I'll be honest with you. They're not afraid of me and I'm not afraid of them. You know, I don't want to hang with them. I never asked to go on a let's hunt demons journey, but I love Biff. Here I am today. But honestly, I've never seen like a fate. They don't try to scare me. Basically, when
Didn't they threaten your children when you were working with me at one point?
Oh my God. We were doing some serious work on a client about 3 years ago, and the demons on the way home said to me, "If you don't stop working with Biff and what he's doing, then we're going to kill your kid," who at the time had severe bronchitis. And they said to me, he could just get pneumonia and die. Oops. I was like, so I quit that entire project. I quit that for a minute. I freaked the hell out.
Stop talking to me for about 6 months.
But in case you think demons won't compromise, hey, my kid didn't die. I left you alone when our deal wasn't broken. I left you alone and my kid didn't die. So I know it sounds ridiculous to make a deal with a demon, man.
But didn't they do something that backstabbed you that made you come back to me and tell me everything that they did do to you?
I think I had an attack. I'd walked away from the whole situation, and then I got a severe attack at Maria's house. Remember? I was crying and shaking. Get him off me! Help me! Crying. When I get attacked, it's out. I don't know what to do.
Because after the 6 months went by, you called me and said they lied to me. They lied to me. They told me they would leave me alone if I didn't talk with you.
Well, right, they were supposed to leave me alone, but also they were supposed to not kill my kid. So I'll take the not leaving me alone for my kid's life. And like I said, you know what some of these demons want that I've been talking to a lot of strange spirits lately? They want forgiveness from me. I don't know why me, because everyone's realizing it's Armageddon. I'm sorry, people.
No, it is.
And these people who want to be forgiven want to be of the light. They finally want to be of the light. They want to be on the good team, so.
What was the craziest, most intense, the most extreme thing that's happened?
Extreme thing that's happened was definitely caught on film here for me. It was physical. It was one of the, it's the one where the demon was inside of the guy's body. When Biff went to fight the demon, he had his arms on him, and the demon was inside of his body, and the guy's arms just grew out of nowhere, just grew in veins, and he pushed at Biff like he was going to attack Biff. And Biff goes to the gym, so he's not bad for his age. And so he was able to hold him back because the guy was pretty young and healthy. Oh my God, he was strong, and it was a physical battle, and I don't know why I was excited, but it was like, yeah, get him, Biff.
It's almost like there was an invisible barrier in between the two, and you couldn't break.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was something else. This is the first time I had ever seen any exorcism by Biff. I don't go out to the fairs. It's a lot for me. I do have a mental illness, and sometimes it can be too much. So this is the only exorcism that I really, really was able to witness. And what I did see clearly, which made me really excited, because when my sight gets better, it's exciting. So I saw an entire white figure step out of the back of this guy, Brian, who was the one who was physically attacking Biff. So this white spirit just backs up out of him completely. So that was the spirit of what was inside of him. And then he wasn't possessed anymore. And then he was fine and he just calmed down. And I'm sure we have good shots of this somewhere because that was the shit.
When he bought this house and you first walked into this house, how was that experience?
This house, when I first walked into it, creepy. Creepy as heck. Can't explain it. Well, he gets his visions in there, so I don't like to go in there. He gets a lot of activity that's not pleasant in his bedroom, so I'm going there. Oh my god, I'm losing that.
Okay.
Biff, what did he say?
When you
first walked onto the property, you first walked onto the property before you came into the
Oh,
house.
let's go with that. First walked onto the property. I thought this house is absolutely ridiculous. And I wrote a poem about it. The way it's built, it's like a death trap, and it's really hilarious. And maybe my poem will mean something someday because I was trying to dissuade him from buying the damn house. The upstairs, I've only been up there 3 times, and on the 3rd time, a demon pushed me downstairs, and I almost broke my neck. I'm brave. I might go up again, but not anytime soon.
It's frightening.
I was shook. I came downstairs and just was like trying to get myself together. And Nick goes, "Do you think that was the demon trying to push you down the stairs?" And I was just like, I don't want to think that because I don't want to fear because I know from being a child if I get fear in my heart, then they're all going to attack me.
How was the energy in this place from the time when we first came in to now?
Wow. When we first came in, I remember us doing some work in here. And it was, there's this strong, there's a rock underneath the house. I think the first thing I noticed were there's just this, in the middle of this house, there's a strong presence. There's something down there. And he's like, it's built on a rock down there. Whatever it is, it's like some kind of portal. I don't know what that is, but it goes straight up from the middle of this house the whole way through. It's not good or bad. It just is. It exists. This house, anyway, so I don't know. This house is definitely. I think once we started having good times here and family dinners and laughing and stuff, that it cleared the air out. But when we first got here, I saw children on the property. That wasn't scary or horrible. They just didn't know where to go, and I think we helped cross them over. And I saw their family here, and that was around 1865-ish, right when the Civil War ended. She always was train of thought. Great.
Very good. Let's take a break and then we're going to do Biff after that.
Sounds good.
Very, very good, Brenda.
Okay.
You did very, very good.
I'm like, what was
That
the
was great. That was great stuff.
Okay.
I know Biff's going to have stuff too.
Whoop, whoop.
Let's clear our minds. What do you think? Pretty cool?
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting, right?
Oh,